They beat Turkey 2-0 in Baku, and they were excellent. From start to finish, Wales were the better team in every single department. It got a little bit dicey after Gareth Bale missed the penalty, but they stopped Turkey. They outplayed them. They outperformed them. The desire, the determination, the work rate from that Wales team, it leaves them on 4 points. 4 points they now sit on after 2 games, more than their hearts probably thought they could deliver at this stage here. They are on the brink. They are absolutely on the brink. They've got a positive goal difference of 2. It could be enough. Whether they end up winning, coming first or second in this group, whether it's a third place runners-up entry through, 4 points has been deemed as maybe enough to get through, but they've given themselves every opportunity. They were written off. Everybody wrote them off. They were not going to get through this stage. They were not going to get themselves to the knockout stages, and they've still got a way to go. They've got to make sure they don't get pummeled by Italy. They've got to see what happens elsewhere. Turkey, on the other hand, 0 points. 0 points for everybody, including my own dark horses. And do you know why we did it? And we all fell for it. I remember when we were doing the prediction show and I said, let's just hold back a little bit here. And the reason I said that is because you always get shocked. People were hyping Turkey because everybody was hyping Turkey. And everybody was hyping Turkey because the media were hyping Turkey. How many people watched Turkey play? How many people really studied their game? I fell for it. I read some really good articles. I watched some really good pieces of content. And I'm talking professionals here, not some random dude who just said Turkey were brilliant. I'm talking professional people, and they've been utterly disappointed in this tournament so far. And what will be really intriguing now in the final game tonight that kicks off in an hour's time is how good are Italy really? So I'm so looking forward to that game now, because we all thought that Italy outclassed Turkey because Italy were amazing, and they may very well be. But Wales tonight, one of the best performances I've ever seen from them at any point. I think it almost, not quite as good as their victory over Belgium at the last Euros, but it was absolutely excellent. And do you know what? The passion, the desire, the work rate, everything demonstrated from Wales tonight was absolutely sensational. They shocked everybody. Most didn't give them a chance, writing them off, boring Wales, unfashionable Wales, England light and all this nonsense. But they did their nation so proud tonight. And I've got Welsh people in my family. I know a lot of Welsh people, and just a massive congratulations. They showed pictures. I'm seeing them now in the stadium. People in tears. That national pride is amazing. And I feel sorry for Turkey. I feel sorry for the Turkish people tonight, because they're going to feel the complete opposite. So much expectation. But I love seeing minnows. I love seeing underrated teams. I love seeing underdogs do well. And that's exactly what Wales are. I wasn't allowed, because the Football Terrorist panel overruled me, but I said Wales would get out of the group. I also fancy Scotland with half a chance. Who knows what's going to happen there? But Wales, I just had a feeling. On a few players tonight, Gareth Bale, he did miss the penalty. Terrible. But his performance was excellent. That the both goals that he created were out of this world. Aaron Ramsey should have scored before that. Before the first goal. Another class Gareth Bale ball. Didn't put it away. Excellent tonight from Gareth Bale. Ramsey in the end gets that important opening goal. The goalkeeper tonight for Wales, and his name has now just eluded me. Ward, excellent save from him. Rondon, I watched him play for Spurs. I didn't know he was that good. Excellent from him tonight. Just every element of the game tonight, Wales were better in. A comment here from Monsieur says, Ramsey, man of the match, passion, heart. At the end, I was saying, run, James, run, and he got tired again. Great performance by, Dan James at the end there. He could have I was thinking of KJ more than anyone else. I was thinking fantasy football points. KJ might have taken him out by now, to be fair. But I'm just really, really, really happy for Wales. I'm really happy. My late uncle, God rest his soul. I know how Wales barely get to tournaments, and I know how much this would mean to him, and I know how much it would mean to everyone in Wales. So just so happy for him. I really am. A comment here says, I think it's time to admit Turkey was highly overhyped. Also interesting to see how Italy look versus Switzerland, because Turkey are making teams look good. And that is a great point. When you relax and you want to go through balance analysis, that is absolutely true. We're going to get a poll up very, very soon. I want you guys to pick who you think my man of the match is. 2 nights running, nobody's guessed who my man of the match is, which I find staggering. No one's guessed who it is. There's a comment here from Joe Barnes. I want to put it up, and he's bang on, where he says, it's heating up nicely. And it is. And it is heating up nicely now because teams are either qualifying or they're dropping into the mire. You saw that flare up at the end, all the pushing and the shoving. I love to see it. I personally love to see it in football. It's not nasty. It's just all the passion, all your angst, all your want, all your desire coming out. And the Turkish team, they lost their heads at the end because they just know they haven't been good enough in this tournament, and it is all but over. We're going to get David and KJ on very soon to have their say. I'm also just about now, I'm sharing it in the StreamYard chat room. I'm going to share the link for you to call in and have your say. If you're not part of our Discord, get yourself across to that right now. The link for that is in our description below. If you're watching over on Twitch, please follow. If you're watching on Twitter, please retweet right now. Get it retweeted right about now, please, ladies and gentlemen. And if you're watching on, I didn't update my titles actually on those. I was too excited. So it's going to say 1-0 if you're watching on Twitter. That isn't the case. But yes, if you're watching on Twitter, please retweet, get that done now. And if you're watching over here on YouTube, like, subscribe, share, and turn on the bell notifications. Very, very important to us. It is. Chowdhury here says this group will open up if only Italy lose today. And it will. If Italy do get stung tonight now at 8 o'clock, then wow. I mean, it opens up Wales with an opportunity to win the group. They could win the group if that was to happen tonight. So who knows what's going to happen in relation to that. Let's see how that transpires. We're going to go to some of your calls really soon. That's the standings, as I mentioned, within the group right now. But what's really important is for us to take a quick look here as well at the predictions. And I want to look at the predictions here because I kind of knew this would happen, but let's look at them anyway. There's still one game to go, but this is how we predicted Group A to look at the end of the first round. Italy first, Turkey second, Switzerland third, and Wales bottom. That's what we expected. That is what we expected to see, according to our panel. They put them down there, and Wales have shocked the world. You start looking through the other groups, and you don't know yet. Then this next round of games is really going to sort of iron out where we think teams are going to end up in relation to that. But lots to discuss, lots to talk about. First, we're going to get the poll up very soon. Get your super chats in, guessing who you think my man of the match is. So get those super chats in now. Hello to everyone who's watching over on Twitter. Apologies for getting the scoreline wrong. I was in such excitement for Wales at the end. I didn't bother to update the title. That's my fault. Apologies, but there we go. First on though, going to get a young Turkishman on to have his say. Disappointed in his nation tonight. It's man like Jem with us now. What you saying, buddy?
How do you think I feel? Disappointed and pissed off, to be honest. All right, they built up. To be honest, look, they built up. This Turkish team was built up to be the best since 2008. In 2008, Turkey went to a semi-final against Czech Republic, and since then we've been pretty much dead. We've been a letdown. We've been an absolute letdown. And prior to these Euros, there was a lot of talk about their form. The youngsters, the Yazidis, the Jalhanolus, the Burak Yilmazes, who helped Lille win a French league for the first time in 15 years as well. A solid defence in Demiral and Soyuncu. They had everything they needed to potentially do well, and this is why people touted them to be the dark horses of the Euros. And not only have they let them people down, but they've let their country down. And I'm not going to lie, I feel a little bit hurt with it because I'd never expected them to lose today the way they did against Wales. I do feel slightly annoyed with Şenol Güneş, who, funny enough, was the last manager that took Turkey to a semi-final. Funny enough, his tactics and the way he played and laid out the team, especially today, I thought was poor. Yazidi should have started. he didn't decide to start Yazigi. And Wales, you know, I felt like Wales deserved it, especially on the first half. We kept getting caught open. We had no midfield. Second half, we sort of got back in the game. You know, we had a couple of chances here and there, but overall, there was no real punch, Terry. There's no end product. Even with Burak Yilmaz up front, we never looked like we're really going to score. Do you know what I mean?
Mate, listen, I totally agree. You know, we all praise and rightfully so Italy's performance last Friday because they were excellent. But I also was very disappointed with Turkey, with the way they were spoken about, the way they were hyped. Do you think this is an element of the players are not as good as everybody's made out? Or maybe they've just kind of, maybe social media has done this. Well, yeah, I was going to say bottled it because I've never seen there be this much expectation on a Turkey normally turn up, no one expects anything. And when they've done well, they've done well. Where this time it's almost like, no, these guys could make the semi-final. It's almost like that expectation has made them crumble.
I think the expectation has definitely made them crumble. I think they've absolutely bottled it. I mean, if you look at, I think for people that haven't watched Turkey or who really understand any of our players, have something to really compare it to. And a lot of people would look at it that haven't watched Turkey and go, what was the faff about? What was the whole, what was the whole big thing about Turkey? But the truth is, they're actually a very good team. And I haven't shown it in this Euros, but they've got very good individual players that, unfortunately, in my eyes, have just not turned up. And they've bottled it on the stage. Whether or not it was tactics, maybe partly to do with the manager, I'd still look at the players though, because with João Hanolu, for example, right, plays for AC Milan, probably the most common, well-known Turkish player that people know around the world. He's meant to be the leader. He's meant to be the guy that sets the tones, try and gets the team back in the game. It was shocking. He couldn't even make a pass. He was losing the ball. He was non-existent in games. He had no influence up front. Burak Yilmaz was isolated. And for me, Terry, they've just bottled it, bro. Like, straight up bottled it. That's all I can say.
Mate, listen, I totally agree. This is one of the, I'm just ashamed that LFC Sonny isn't here because he doesn't think bottling exists. And it's interesting, really, because the best tournament I've seen, one of the best tournaments I've seen in my lifetime, twice for England, actually 96 and 2018. We weren't fancy going into it. There was a lot of actual, we're not good enough. If you actually listen to the opening sort of sound around the song Three Lions, it's about England being trash. It's about, English, it's another bad day for English football. We weren't fancy to do well at the tournament we did. Every other tournament after that, we were tipped to do something and we flopped. 2018, everyone wrote us off and we got to a semi-final. And I feel sometimes certain nations just need to feel like the underdogs, and suddenly Turkey weren't underdogs. People were picking like their top 4 teams, and they were leaving out Germany's and Portugal's and Italy's, and they were putting in Turkey. And maybe that just has got into their minds a little bit and stuff like that. But listen, the final group game now is going to be who knows what's going to happen between Switzerland and Italy? Maybe a draw in that game, and maybe the door will be left open for Turkey in the third place role. But
can they still go through in third? So if say Italy beats Switzerland, but then Turkey beats Switzerland and Wales lose to Italy and Turkey finish third. How does it work?
If you come third, then you go up against you basically get put into a mini league with all the other teams that finish third, and then it's the top 4 teams in those mini leagues who go through. So let's just say Switzerland and Italy draw tonight. That mean Italy and Wales on 4 points, Switzerland on 2, you on none. If you then beat Switzerland, you finish in third place. It just depends how you compare to all the other third place teams left in the competition. So you then won't know until everybody else has played their final game. So Turkey will have a very long wait, a 3 or 4 day wait to find out. So it's ominous now, mate. Listen, Jem, thanks for coming on, mate, and having your say. Top man. Thank you very much indeed. Do me a big favor, ladies and gentlemen, hit that like and that share button. Next up on the show is going to be Man Like Gunnar Express. What you saying, buddy?
Well, obviously Bale, that penalty miss is absolutely hilarious. I thought for a second that Thomas Partey was taking that penalty, but Wales are really good. I think a lot of people are going to come on here and talk about how Turkey were obviously very poor and possibly even overrated, but Wales, they need their flowers. They were incredible today. Ramsey had a great game, missed a few chances, but he got his goal and obviously helped the win. So, Wales, they're a bit of a dark horse in the sense that I think they'll do better than people expected. Like, a lot of people said they're going to finish bottom of their group, they won't even get a point, etc., etc. But they could qualify, probably get knocked out in the round of 16, but that beats a lot of people's expectations. So, but yeah, they're definitely a decent little team.
No, I agree. We're getting a bit of interference with your microphone. I'm not too sure what that is. It's like scraping against something or something. I'm not too sure. Maybe that's a little bit better. Yeah, I'm not too sure what that was. But yeah, listen, I agree. I agree with what you said there. I think that Wales were just written off, and Wales are always written off. Wales are written off because it's because they're unfashionable. That's the reason that Wales are written off, is because they're not a fashionable team to support, to watch, because it's like Wales, like it's a bit of a, people even think about who thinks of going to Wales. Like it's always kind of played down as a nation. They've got some decent players, and where they need tremendous credit is a lot of one of their players who started today plays for Luton. You got, Bournemouth players, Swansea players. There's a lot of individuals involved with Wales at a sort of championship and whatnot level. To be on 4 points 2 games into this tournament, I think is exceptional. Gooner Express, thanks for calling in, mate, and having your say. Top man. Thank you. Not a problem. Next on the show, we're going to go to David. David's here. What are you saying, mate?
I love how you said, who wants to live in Wales?
No, I don't mean it horribly, but no one, it's never a place. Some people are like, I'd love to move to Manchester. I'd love to move to Newcastle. Yeah. No one ever says, I'm moving Wales. It's seen as unfashionable. And that's why I'm really happy that they're doing well.
Yeah, no, they're doing really well. Like, I literally live across the street from a pub. And when that second goal went in, I just saw a guy just run out celebrating. So, they did really well. I was really, really shocked how well they did. I thought Turkey would, even after they scored the goal, I thought Turkey would just press them in and eventually create their chance. But no, Wales held them out really well, countered really well. Dan James, for like a lower league team, when it's counter-attack, looks really good until he has to, actually contribute to a bit of output. But he's getting in the right position. So that's a weapon they can use. Gareth Bale today was amazing. He's actually, apart from the penalty, which is comical, but yeah, his actual overall play was really good. But Turkey, I think we all need to learn. If a gal says a team's going to do well, don't listen. They're destined to fail, because that Turkey team is. I mean, they play awful football. It's hoof the ball up to Yilmaz and hope. That's all it is. They're no better than Stoke City. So, and some people had them winning the tournament. I didn't have them as dark horses, but I thought they'd at least make it through the group. But at this rate, it doesn't even look like they're going to do that. Which is kind of bad.
I got dragged into the Turkey hype, bro. Is what I read. It wasn't an Igal. I know the Igal thing's a bit of banter. It wasn't Igal saying it. It was, do you know what? I'd go onto the Telegraph. I was reading the Times. I read a few other, like 90 Min, all different guys to the tournament. I must read about 8 or 9, just doing my research. What do I think and feel? And all of them were just telling me how good they were. So I thought, okay, I'll back them. But that's what I've said in nearly every review show. It's what I love about these tournaments, because it levels you out. It actually exposes what people watch and they don't watch, if that makes sense. And I admit to it. I'm very open. I don't get exposed, but I love learning. And for me, this is the worst Turkey team I've ever seen at a tournament so far. And they've had some excellent ones. They're just the worst I've seen. And maybe that is. Do you think it's the pressure, or do you just think they're just not very good?
I think it's the style of football they're trying to play. I don't think it works very well, especially against the teams that they're playing against. When you are like the dominant side, you can't really just long ball it. I feel like if they played, the thing is, I can't even say if they played bigger teams, because they played Italy and got smashed to pieces. But all they did was defend and put 11 men behind the ball. And Wales were they were clearly man for man. They were a better team than Wales. Tried to attack with the whole long ball thing, and it didn't work. So I'm not really sure what teams they would actually beat. Maybe a Finland. Like that's the level I'm seeing them at being right now.
Yeah, and they don't really possess, like Ilmas. Do you see when he broke away in the second half and then shot from a silly angle? And that's because he had no support and he had no legs. And it was sort of like, the great thing is, like, Dan James was the only man with pace out there tonight. No one else has got pace, but he still looks slow.
Yeah.
Like, so they've got no speed in that team. And I think that's a real big issue for them. In terms of Wales, though, do you think they'll get through now to the knockouts from this point?
Yeah, if you get 4 points, you're basically through. I think even if you get 3 points, you've got a really, really good chance of going through. You just have to finish in that third spot. When you look in, I think it's Group B with the Finland, Russia, and I think Denmark will now beat Russia, and that will mean there will be 3 teams on 3 points. So how that actually works out in terms of second, third, fourth, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure if you get 3, you're pretty much through because of that third place thing. So I think Wales comfortably make it. They have a good chance to come second now. They really do. if Italy beat Switzerland tonight, which I think they will, and then Switzerland beat Turkey, then they're in second place, and suddenly it opens up for them quite like a lot nicer than them finishing third. I think.
Well, yeah, if Italy win tonight,
they play like a Germany or a France or something. So,
and if Italy win tonight, what you will find in that final game, these things happened before, there will be a gentleman's agreement almost, because Italy, it will almost be, listen, don't try and beat us and take the top spot. We won't beat you and open the door for anybody else. Play out a draw.
A 0-0, 1-1 draw is fine, and we both make it through in the same positions. It's fine.
Yeah, these things happen in football. They've happened before; they'll happen again. Just I mean, don't risk going into that third place spot and having a really hard draw. But it sometimes doesn't work like that. You can finish second and get the easy, because the thing is, it's the shocks, isn't it? Like right now, at the start of the tournament, if you'd have said, listen, if England get out their group, who do you want, Turkey or Wales? You would have picked Wales. But now you wouldn't. Right now, you'd be like, oh, please give me Turkey. So it really depends on who we face and stuff like that. Everybody gets it. It'll be interesting. But listen, David, thanks for calling in, mate, and having your say. Top man. Thank you. Ladies and gents, hit that like and that share button. Currently, your votes are saying Ramsey will be my pick for man of the match on 45%. 44% are saying Gareth Bale as it stands right now. In terms of tonight, I was looking just here at chances created. Turkey did create 18 chances tonight, but I don't feel like they were like clear cut. Few good saves by Ward. Best creator in the Wales team tonight, Dan James 4, Gareth Bale with 3. Where I felt sorry for Dan James is he created all those other chances and no one put them away. And the one time it was just easier for him not to find his man than it was to find him. Harder to not find his man than it was to find him. He had 3 to aim for. He messed it up. Fair bit sorry for him, but there we go. Next on the show, my guys here. KJ, what are you saying, buddy?
You know what, yeah? I mentioned a lot about collective and not just relying on Gareth Bale and Ramsey. And Wales delivered that. That performance was magnificent, man. You know what I mean? From the goalkeeper to the defense to the midfield, all the way up to the strikers and the attack force. You just gotta give it to Wales, and they deserve to go through from that performance alone. It was a very good performance. They made Turkey look average and made me question, because I was lied to. I've been deceived. You know what I'm saying? This Turkey team they get what gas? The gas for what? To get ran through by Italy and Wales, bro. They've conceded 5 goals. 5 goals in the international tournament in 2 games. All right, don't talk to me about this Turkey team again, fam. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, man. I got sucked in like everyone else. The most overhyped team in the tournament and one of the most disappointing teams I've ever seen in the Euros. Like, I don't know what they was doing, but listen, Wales, don't take nothing away from them. Absolutely amazing. That goal from Gareth Bale and Ramsey. Levels. You know what I'm saying? Levels. And then how Turkey allowed Gareth Bale not once but twice to dribble from the corner flag into their box and then end up scoring. I don't know, but yeah, it was a beautiful performance for Wales, and it'd be interesting to see how they do in the knockout stages. Will that football be what they need as a team of their caliber to take them to the semi-finals?
Yeah, mate. Completely and utterly for me. When I look at it, I just think I just look at it and think to myself, Wales are one of those difficult teams in this tournament to beat because they're not bad technically on the ball. They're not. They have they're not amazing as a collective, but they have a couple of outstanding players. But they're well drilled, and they're one of those small nations that is going to fight tooth and nail. They did it however many years ago, 5 years ago. Very similar to Iceland as well. They've got better players, I think, than Iceland have as individuals. But sometimes there's just a collectiveness within a team. And, you know, they were written off partly because they're Wales, partly because obviously had to change manager at the last minute, as we all know. Mm-hmm. And I think moments like that can sometimes galvanize a team. And who knows how things will look now, you know, if they get through this round, because we obviously predicted that it would be Turkey that would go through. Interestingly, we also said that if Turkey was second and Denmark came second, in Group B, that means it would have been Turkey and Denmark in the last in the next round. Now, if they come second in that group now, Wales, they're not going to get Belgium. Belgium are going to win that group. They're going to get Denmark, Russia, or Finland. Having watched all of those teams play so far, Denmark have also got to play one more game. They could win that match.
Yeah, you give them a chance.
They could do that. Then it becomes harder because they're either going to get a team like the Netherlands or maybe Germany or somebody along those lines. But still, like, they've got an opportunity to make a quarterfinals. Wales are not expected to do that. So it's massive props to them. They've just got to keep their heads now, stay level-headed. And, Gareth Bale having, so far another good tournament. And that's two good tournaments.
Bale, I feel like for him, he needs to stop acting like he's a winger. because when he tried to do winger things or the things that he used to do in his past self, it just wasn't working for him because he ain't got the legs no more. But when he just used his quality, like the balls, all the balls he gave to Ramsey today, just excellent. And I feel maybe he might, as a player, he might just need to reshape himself into a different position or change his play style where he's not the winger that bombs past people, but actually you're more acute, you play more 1-2s, and you see where we're going. And Dan James, a lot of people were like, he plays so much better for Wales than he does for Man United. That means Man United are crap. It's like, no. Dan James plays for a team that suits the way he plays, that suits how they need him to play. And that's what it is. Like, he's great on the counter when he's got space to run into. Most teams will attack Wales, therefore giving them the space to Dan James to do that. So let's not let Dan James be Dan James for Wales, you know what I mean, without bringing it back to United. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I saw some tweets in the game sort of alluding to that. It's embarrassing. A lot of Man United's players look better here than they do at Man United. And it's a difference. Who are they playing for? How are they being used? What are they needed for? What's the quality of opposition they're up against? It's tournament football. And what's interesting, I don't really know where that's coming from because I thought Scotty Mack had about the same level game. Dan James tonight, it was counter-attack for him. When he was doing the counter, we know he's a good counter-attacker when he gets the opportunity to do it. Who else? Like Pogba performed last night like he does for Man United. Bruno put in a decent performance.
I think the only one that really stood out is Lindelof. But when Man United play low block football with Lindelof, he's not actually that bad. It's when we start to play high-line football where
exactly. It's high-line football where the defender is exposed one-on-one on multiple occasions because he hasn't got the physicality. It's, when you play defensively, you protect your players because it's surrounded by other people. I do find it staggering that, actually, no, I don't. People don't need that explaining to them. People just want to be salty for no reason.
In the comments, like going in on Dan James and his rubbish, but I'm not. You don't have to go that hard at him. Like we know what he is for Man United, but just let him be for this tournament, please, and just let him be that Dan James for Wales and not Dan James for United. Just let him be that.
Absolutely, bro. Listen, my brother, thank you for coming on and having your say. Really appreciate it, mate. Everyone who's tuning in, hit that like button, share button, retweet button, follow button. Sign up to our Discord server and all of our social media accounts below. My man of the match. I will reveal it at the end. I think one person has super chatted it right so far, but get your super chats in and guess who you think my man of the match is going to be. Gareth Bale currently leading the polls on 45%. Get your votes in now. Next on the show, we're going to go to Leaf is back with us here. Leaf's a Tottenham fan. He would have been happy seeing his boy Gareth Bale deliver tonight. What are you saying, buddy?
Yeah, it was really good. Gareth Bale was really good. I think he's like Son is gonna be just like him when he grows older, much less spacier, but really good quality. And people seem to forget that Gareth Bale has more goals than Rashford, more goals than Sterling, and he has the most goals. He has the most goals ratio per minute in the Premier League this year. But anyway, he still really needs to improve his athleticism. I think Joe Rodon, he was really good, and he's always been really good for Wales. We need to play him more, in fact, against Liverpool and big teams. When we played him, he was really good too. But otherwise, I was really impressed by Wales. They were not clinical, but had they been clinical, it would have been 4-0, 5-0. And speaking on Lindelof, against Spain, he was actually really, really bad. He missed 3 headers and he allowed almost Morata to score many times. So Lindelof is just really bad.
I didn't think he played well against Spain at all. But as we said earlier, I've noticed I've ignored the majority of it in terms of replying. I've seen it with every club like that have got agendas against their manager or players. They just, you do good for your country. That means you don't care about my club, or you do. It's like, you know what? It's like, Have a day off, you negative, miserable sons of guns. Lee, thanks for coming on, mate, and having your say. Speak to you again soon. Top man, thank you. Do me a favor, everyone. Make sure you're getting your votes in right now. We're coming towards the end of the show. We're, of course, live after Italy's game against Switzerland this evening. I'm actually very excited as well. We're getting closer to Friday, England versus Scotland as well. Let's get to some of your comments here. Lindelof got man of the match, though. Cool. Pogba was given man of the match last night, and a lot of people thought that Kante deserved it. So, you know, horses for courses. I didn't think he was. But you know what? Well, it is with Lindelof. Lindelof for Man United isn't bad every second of the game. He can have a great 91 minutes. But then in the last moment of the game, he has that brain fart moment, and it happens. There's nearly always one in a game, and if you get punished, it can expose your team. One every 5 games, one every 10 games, I think is acceptable. One every game, I think it's a little bit too much indeed. You guys are stubborn. You don't like Lindelof. I don't like him. I just want to have a better centre back than him at my club. That wasn't the point, though. The point was people talking about. Anyway, it's not about the individual players. You've completely missed the point. You're so off point. It's unbelievable. The Turkey centre backs ain't so bad. No, Turkey don't have bad players everywhere. Just poor collectively. We're going to go to Lincoln to have his say now. Lincoln, welcome back to the terrace, mate. What do you want to say, buddy?
Yo, what's good, Terry? Hey, fam, if that's a Gareth Bale that's washed, I would like to see that if that's a washed Gareth Bale, then I'll calm with it, man. That pass to Ramsey was absolutely brilliant. I mean, and Ken, you know what? KG's kind of right on Gareth Bale. I think he can kind of transition from right wing to cam. If he can make that transition, then that'll be good for his career, and especially going back to Real Madrid, because I don't think he's leaving anytime soon. But anyways, it's not just about Gareth Bale tonight. It's about the whole squad. From Danny Ward to Connor Roberts. Connor Roberts actually scored today, and Dan James just doing Dan James things. Joe Allen had a very good performance in midfield along with Joe Morrow, and I don't think anyone's given him enough credit. But Rob Page has to take a lot of the plaudits. He has to take a lot of the flowers. The way he positioned the team today was a lot different from the Switzerland game, and they really handled the game very well. I'm just over the moon with Wales. I mean, they're basically in the knockout stages, and they could just rest a couple of players for Italy, or maybe they can just go full strength. But yeah, Wales. Yeah, Wales are good.
They can rotate now. I think they can do that. I think they can rotate and rest a few players and keep themselves fresh moving forward. And you mentioned Morrow there. Yeah, that's a Luton Town player, you know? And it's funny, a lot of other people were like, a lot of people was, England played a wash Croatia team. Look at the clubs that the Croatia players play for. They may not be all playing in the top 4 leagues in Europe, but they're playing in good quality leagues, or they're in those leagues, and they may not be in the best teams in those big leagues, but they play in those big leagues. The vast majority of them, the vast majority of the Turkish players play. So some of these men are playing like League One Championship football in the Wales squad. So to see them get out the group stage, absolutely phenomenal, no doubt about it. Lincoln, thanks for coming on, mate, and having your say. I really appreciate that. Everyone that's tuned in to us tonight, a massive thank you to each and every single one of you. We're back later on after Italy versus Switzerland, the only place bringing you match reactions for the vast majority of the Euros games, barring 1 or 2. We're here for to let you have your say. Come on, speak, express yourself, etc. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again.